So I want to ask you guys before we get further into Kendrick's album. So with that, and acknowledging that you have to listen to Kendrick differently than you would other artists, I want to ask, is it unfair to not do the same thing when you listen to an artist like Jack Harlow, who is receiving a lot of criticism right now?
What's your beef with Drew, cuz? Why you keep shooting at my dog?
Attacking
like that,
me.
You know? Right, yeah, like I don't understand. What's your frustration? You know what I'm saying?
Gerard, you said
ever since he been in Baltimore, ever since he been in Baltimore, he been a lot more aggressive. I don't like where this is going. You know what I'm saying?
Gerard, you said you didn't like Jack Harlow's album, so this
ain't about me. This ain't about me.
It's not about. Okay, that's my bad. No disrespect.
Gerard's my man's. He got my back.
I was really curious because I feel like the wide masses really criticize, like we said, Jack Harlow's album, and it's like you can't listen to it like you listen to Kendrick. You can't listen to it like you listen to Drake, despite the fact that you see a lot of influence of Drake on the album. So I was just curious, if people listen to it without those high expectations, would they still review it or think of it as trash as they seem to think it is?
I had high expectations from Jack Harlow because of the singles he's been releasing and the flow he's been having lately, like I'm sorry, not the flow, like the momentum he's been having lately. Yeah, I expected a banger from this album, and boy, was I let down by it still. But I expected this is Jack Harlow's third album, right? I expected him to push it a little more on this, and he did not do that. He really stayed safe on a lot of tracks. Kendrick, when you hear this album, it's different. It's different from a lot of shit he's ever made, and it's like the first therapy album, I'd say, since I wanted to say this too, Gerard, since Book of Ryan by Royce, because that was one of the most vulnerable albums I've ever heard. And this, to me, after hearing Kendrick's the first time, I didn't get it. I listened a second time, I was like, okay, I see the direction in this now,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It definitely took more than one or two listens, I feel, to really appreciate Kendrick's album.
I fully agree with that.
I like that. That was a great comparison.
Royce's Book of Ryan was his autobiography, like he laid it all on the table on that, the personal issues with his family and everything. So after I heard Kendrick's, I related it to them. Like, okay, now I realize what he was going for.
Yeah.
So Drew, you say you had to listen to it in full and listen to it more than one time?
Here we go.
You see this shit, Drew? You see it?
Like, that was a shot.
No,
that was a shot. If I'm gonna take a shot, I'm gonna take it. That's how you take a shot. I just that's what a shot is, right? I just wanted to
tell you, track 3 through 10 or whatever on Jack Harlow's album was the same exact flow and same exact cadence and everything. It was such a fucking
Drew, you ain't gotta defend yourself.
I don't have to listen to last episode if you want to hear my fucking review on that 3-ass album.
Yeah.
3 out of 10.
Let them know, Drew.
I hear all the aggressiveness in your throats. I hear all the loud volume. Y'all not gonna get me flustered. I appreciate you, Drew, for that passion. But just throwing it out there. Little jab. But yeah, I have my notes here when it comes to Kendrick Lamar.